you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hello, this is Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the earliest things that makes official. Welcome to 16 years, going on 2,600 episodes of the Chris Voss Show, where we bring you the most amazing minds, the smartest people, greatest stories, just wonderful journeys of people's emotions through life, things they learn, things that they used to grow, things they used to overcome adversity, and they bring them to you so you can learn to do that or not. Or we just mildly entertain you and make you laugh. Today we have an amazing gentleman returning the show with us. We have David Fleming on the show again. His latest book has come out October 14th, 2025, called A Big Mess in Texas. Let me recut that. A Big Mess in Texas, the Miraculous, Disastrous, 1952 Dallas Texans, and the craziest untold story in NFL history. We're going to get into it with him. We're going to talk about some of his insights, his experience, and stuff I didn't even know about football, and some of the wonderful things that go on there. David Fleming is the author of 4 books and a Peabody-nominated correspondent for Meadowlark Media. During the last 3 decades at ESPN, Sports Illustrated, and Meadowlark, he has been one of the industry's most prolific, versatile, and imaginative long-form storytellers. His unique work has earned numerous national awards, as well as a handwritten note from the White House. He is the author of Who's Your Founding Father?, Breaker Boys, the NFL's greatest team, and the stolen 1925 championship, and Noah's Rainbow. A native of Detroit and a former D1 wrestler, Fleming and his wife live in North Carolina with their daughters. Welcome to the show. How are you, David?
I'm great. Good to see you again, Chris. Thank you.
Great to see you again, too. So are you a Lions fan growing up in Detroit? Or?
Yeah, I think, Lions fan. And oh, my God, my poor family. We're half Lions fans and half Cleveland Browns fans.
Wow. Yeah, they came so close recently. What was it, a few years ago? The Lions did?
The Lions did, yeah.
We thought they were going to finally get that one in the bag.
I know you can appreciget that heartache as a Raiders fan yourself.
Raiders fan, I certainly can. Yes. So let's get into it. Give us .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
All my stuff is Flemfile. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Gmail, and my author's website is just flemfile.com. So hit me up there.
So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside this book?
Oh my gosh. Basically, it was the NFL's first attempt to put a team in the South. It was the team that was supposed to become the Dallas Cowboys, supposed to become America's team. And in fact, the working title for the book for a long time was Almost America's Team. But instead of becoming America's team, the 1952 Dallas Texans became the last NFL team to go bankrupt. And they did it in record and hilarious fashion. They basically drank and partied and stunk it up on the football field and were gone in less than 5 months, which is why I think most NFL fans don't even know this team existed.
5 months. Yeah. I never heard of them. I only knew the Oilers growing up when I was a kid and the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that this is the team, the AFL team that became the Kansas City Chiefs, but no, this was the NFL's first attempt to put a team in Dallas in 1952.
Yeah. Boy, if you had it titled who this team was, let's see, rattlesnakes on the practice field, player fights and benders, bounce checks and paternity suits, stadium field covered in elephant dung. And this sounds like my Raiders.
I think
Raiders in the 70s.
Yeah, no, exactly. This book is kind of like Slapshot meets North Dallas 40 meets Animal House. And
This does sound like the Raiders are in the 70s.
Yes.
So how did you discover this story? This is kind of an unknown kind of thing out there.
Well, like you as a Raiders fan, as a guy whose family is all Lions and Browns fans, when the Browns went 0-16, I think it was 2017, I was trying to be like a good son, a good nephew, a good cousin. And I was doing research because I worked for ESPN for 3 decades. And I was doing research on, okay, who really is the worst team to ever play in the NFL? And this
to make your Browns friends feel good.
Right. I was trying to give them, trying to improve their holidays or something.
It's not that bad, folks.
And I mean, like all great stories, I stumbled upon this 1952 story of the Dallas Texans. And I mean, my God, as a writer and a researcher, as you start to peel back the layers, it just, you can't believe any of this is true.
It's just a complete shit show of a team. And it sounds like the NFL was trying to, I don't know, expand so hard. They just kind of went, whatever. Who funded this? Was there an oligarchy type billionaire dude or, multimillionaire dude, I guess back then, that started the team, or how did it work?
One of the best characters in the book is Giles Miller, who he was 31. He was a college and high school football fanatic. And at the time, he was the youngest millionaire in America. But it was because of his dad's money. His dad was Clarence Miller, who was known as the textile king of the South. And I think you'll appreciate this. Back then, it's hard for current fans to understand this. But before the TV money kicked in, the NFL was chaotic. It was on the verge of bankruptcy. It was violent. The 1950s were this great Wild West era of the NFL. And, Giles Miller put up the money, and the NFL had always wanted to expand more teams into the West or, west of the Mississippi. And I'm not sure if the commissioner at the time knew it was a sucker's bet, but they let him give it a shot, and they just blew it up in record time.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, I kind of miss those days. I grew up with Ken Stabler and the Raiders and became a fan when I was a child. Obviously, it was a long time ago. And, the brutal nature that the Raiders brought to the game, the dirty tricks and stuff. I remember asking, I can't remember who it was, but he won the Super Bowl for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm like, why in the 2000s are we still playing dirty football, 1970s football? He goes, that's just Al Davis, man. He's still in 1970s, man.
Yeah.
For that team. And, I'm like, but we get 300 yards of penalties a game. We literally lose games over yards of penalties. every weekend it was like 300 yards of penalties on the Raiders because someone's punching in the scrum, and just stupid shit like that. But yeah, to see some of this, I kind of miss those days.
Oh, you
kind of miss those days. Nowadays, the last 3 or 4 years, nowadays, all the penalties are like if you look bad or dangerously at any of the Chiefs, then you get penalized.
I mean, the stuff that went on in the 1950s, I mean, none of the stuff that's illegal today, it was perfectly legal. You could do whatever you wanted to a quarterback. I mean, short of murder. And you could, if a guy went down and he was untouched, you could continue to hit him. There's stories in the book of George Halas kicking an opponent in the groin because he had made the mistake of going out of bounds by the Chicago Bears coach. So it was violent. It was colorful. Remember, most of the guys who populated the NFL during this time, they had just survived World War II. And so they were like, football, this is a piece of cake compared to the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you kick someone in the groin, that's definitely a Battle of the Bulge. Oh, I don't know what that means, folks, but yeah, I kind of miss those violent days. I mean, nowadays it seems like it's almost become a version of touch football. But I kind of miss those crazy days of the, it's a violent game. It's supposed to be a violent game. It's like rugby. I mean, yeah, I mean, what is that thing that people get, the brain thing, the TIA or whatever?
CTE, yeah.
CTE. I mean, yeah, that's probably not great, but we pay you a lot of money to be brain dead at 30. So,
yeah, remember, I mean, in the 1950s, most players didn't wear face masks. So it seems like in every photo, somebody is punching somebody else in the face. But I think that's the reason why the NFL became so popular, was because, televisions really became a thing in the 50s and people were bored with baseball. And the NFL was like this addictive, violent entertainment, and it skyrocketed after the 50s.
Yeah, I mean, what's a good, I mean, if you can't make your own domestic violence, it's on TV. So yeah, I mean, back then I think they were just kind of wearing foil for helmets too. Just a little protection. I
mean, they look like the Halloween costumes you can get today. Yeah, for sure. These guys were they were tough.
There's more plastic in those little Halloween pumpkin heads that you hold your candy with. You ever seen those things?
Yeah.
So this is pretty. How come there's not more exposure on this story? Do you think? How come it's not more known, or does the NFL just kind of like, we want to forget about that whole thing?
Yeah, I think the NFL. So the crazy part of this story, there's many. This team, which was a disaster, right? They ended up becoming the squeaky clean All-American Johnny Unitas Baltimore Colts. And so I think the NFL doesn't want people to associate, as you perfectly put it, this absolute shit show in Dallas with the savior of the NFL, the Johnny Unitas Baltimore Colts. And then the other thing that's I think the other thing is why this team and this story gets either erased or sort of nostalgically whitewashed. But the main reason why the team didn't survive in Dallas and went bankrupt so quickly was Dallas, they had their two best players were black, and Dallas in the Jim Crow South in 1952, Dallas was absolutely not ready to support an integrated football team.
Oh, wow. No, that sounds like Texas. I like this idea of rattlesnakes being on the field. Can we bring this back? I think this might help my Raiders play better, or at least move a little faster.
Yeah, they made many mistakes, right? But one of them was they decided to hold their training camp in the hottest place in Texas, down by San Antonio, and so every morning they would come out. And the trainer and the youngest rookie on the team would have to literally clear the field of rattlesnakes before they could practice.
They got some budget going on there. No, I don't know. That might make Geno Smith a better quarterback over on the Raiders there. I think we should put one on the sidelines. I need to keep Coach what's his face awake these days.
Yeah. You'll like this, Chris. Their trainer had a wooden leg, and I'm not making this up, right? There's laws against this.
Pirates.
Yeah, their trainer had a wooden leg, and so they decided, well, he's the one who should clear the rattlesnakes because he has a 50% better chance of not getting bitten than the rest of us.
Guy's walking around. He's with his wooden leg, and it's got like 6 rattlesnakes
hanging off of
stuck to the thing in their teeth. Hey, can somebody help me pull these rattlesnakes out of my leg, man?
We can make some boots out of them, or a football, maybe.
Take that leg and just throw it in the woods with those snakes, man. Get a new leg. That's wild, man. Hey, we were talking before the show, in the pre-show, about how, I grew up with the Oilers, and I kind of thought they were cool, and there was the Dallas Cowboys, of course. I think that was there, or shortly before the era of Starbuck and Roger Starbuck and everybody. And you were talking about how there was a lot of these Texas teams that kind of moved out and around the country, and so it kind of took a while for things to settle there in Texas with maybe, I guess, the Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the incredible part of this story is that there's the NFL's first attempt went bankrupt in Texas. Wow. I mean, you just don't think of Texas as being a place that wouldn't support an NFL team, but you've got the Texans were first in 1952, then the Cowboys, then the AFL the team that would become the Kansas City Chiefs. They were the Texans, but they were red and white. And then the Cowboys come in. And then the other thing is, I think it seems like every professional sports team in Texas has been named the Texans. There was like a hockey team, a lacrosse team, an arena league football team. So there's a lot of confusion, but this team was the first and this team was the worst.
The first and the worst.
Yeah.
That's I think that's how my girlfriends describe me. But they always remember me. Anyway, the first and the worst. So, if you're gonna be the first, you got to be memorable. So either smack it out of the park or whatever. So when did the Cowboys finally give up Jerry Jones and go decide to be a real team somewhere? Is that going to happen anytime soon, you think?
Man, not in our lifetime. You know what? I think they have a 1% chance of making the playoffs, right? And so they're basically out, which means the Cowboys have gone 30 years without a significant win. That's incredible.
Wow.
And they've basically proven that there's no financial incentive to win in the NFL because they just keep making in more money, even though they're terrible. The product is terrible.
Yeah. It's kind of like I remember when the Cowboys built that beautiful stadium that was top of the line technology, and they're still losing. And the Raiders the same way. We've built, I don't know, probably one of the, I don't know if it's the best technological thing, and it's designed with all these suites. I remember when the Cowboys really brought that suites game to the stadium where these corporations, they can buy these big stupid suites that are opulent, and I think the Raiders thing is worse. Like I've seen some of the suites in there, I'm just like, holy Christ, it's a mansion in here.
Isn't one of them? It's not a suite, but I think the end zone, it's actually like a nightclub. It's like a full on nightclub.
Something like that.
So because nobody wants to watch the Raiders, unfortunately.
It's Vegas. Yeah. You gotta go get drunk and I don't know, chase some chicks around a table if you're watching a Raiders game. The thing I love about Raiders is they employ the Dallas Texans thing, be first and the worst, and do it in the first quarter. Like I love how my Raiders, they just get the whole season over in the first 2 or 3 games, and so I don't have to watch football all year long and hide the knives every Sunday. I can just watch the first few games and be like, okay, still the Raiders, and we're consistent as fuck.
Yep.
So, we get out early. Yeah, and you don't have to sit there. You're not sitting there with the Raiders like on week 7 or 8 going, they could make it. You're just like, no. It was like 1-4 in the first 4 games. So it's I
didn't realize, Chris, I appreciate talking to you because I didn't realize, my God, we should be selling this book to Raiders fans because it will make them feel better.
It'll make us Browns, Bills.
Right. Because this team, I think they started 0-9. They were last in every category. And then the players just started partying. They went on a bender, a month-long bender that would make Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys blush.
Talk about shooting yourself in the foot when Jerry Jones, when Jerry Jones started interfering with the football coach you just mentioned, I think it was for the Cowboys.
Yep.
And that was like the end of it. They had a great thing going on, and Jerry Jones was like, I'll run this team and be the kind of the head coach and put my all over in it.
Yep.
And that mucked it up, and 30 years later, I guess here we are. So
30 years later, they're still waiting they haven't even made a championship game. So it's that sort of the ego in professional sports. It ruins everything, I think.
The Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars have never reached the Super Bowl. Arizona Cardinals have never won. Falcons, Bills, Panthers, Bengals, Los Angeles Chargers, Vikings. Wait, I think I thought Vikings were, maybe they didn't win one with Favre. I thought they
No. Remember they were, oh my God, they lost. He threw that terrible interception in New Orleans.
In Saints. Yeah. I remember that. I was like, yeah, that's over. Tennessee Titans. Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutally hard that's basically 12 teams that have never won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the more you talk to teams that actually get there, they realize that's why the players get so emotional. It's like a million things have to go perfectly for a team, not just to be good enough, but to sort of like avoid injuries or like get the breaks or the fumbles at the right time. And it really is. Yeah. I think there's so much parity in the NFL that it really is. It's like a game of Survivor for whoever ends up winning the Lombardi.
Yeah. Well, the Saints learned that on their three-peat attempt with the Eagles last year. They thought they were good enough they didn't have to pay off the refs that year, and so they found out what that's about.
You got to make sure that cash finds its way right to the refs.
A few seasons there, man. You just look wrong at the Chiefs, and they throw a flag at you and eject you from the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Aggressive looking at Mahone.
You're for sure. Yeah. And it's so funny. Bobby Lane he's an all-pro quarterback from the era of the book, and he dealt with. I mean, you could do whatever you wanted to quarterbacks, and Art Donovan, who played for the Texans, sacked him, and they were face mask to face mask, and Art was like, "Oh my God, Bobby, you smell like the bottom of a wine bottle." He's like, "You must have really partied last night." And Bobby Lane goes, No, I was drinking at halftime.
Isn't there stories of Joe Namath doing coke on the sidelines or anything, or he just wore the disco coat and looked like he'd been doing coke all day?
That I would not put that past Joe Namath.
I think he played inebriated. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and the drug of choice was alcohol. The players, everybody smoked. And then greenies. They all took greenies. They all took amphetamines, like gumballs.
So basically, they were like in the World War II. The British pilots were doing that. They were taking amphetamines to keep them up, so they could keep bombing and fighting. Right?
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. I think we should bring that back, dude. Wouldn't that make the game just so much?
That's Chris. That's a great. You just solved the NFL's problems like 1 week a year.
This is Geno Smith's problem. He needs to get jacked up.
We go back to the 1950s rules for one game a year. We go back to the 1950s.
Come on, it's Las Vegas Raiders, man. That's the town of hookers and blow.
Let's go. The Raiders just aren't embracing their Vegas identity hard enough.
Or their Oakland identity too.
You've solved it. You've solved the Raiders. You've solved it.
Yeah. I mean, they were in Oakland for a long time, so they had hookers and crack.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Now I'm gonna get calls from attorneys in Oakland. It's a great city, folks. Just we're taking armored truck. No, I've been to Raiders games in Oakland.
Me too.
That's like being on a prison yard, man.
I mean, honestly, you're not exaggerating. The walk to the stadium is you're taking your life into your hands.
Oh yeah, that's the final walk of death. And I mean, we went on San Francisco 49ers Day. Oh boy. I mean, there were more fights. I think there was 10 fights going on around us at one point. And at one point, we were sitting in the bleachers up here. We're up in kind of half the nosebleeds, and we're at an angle. That's you can't see the point I'm making, folks, if you're listening, but we're at an angle downward because we're on the upper risers, and this guy flies over our heads head first. Now think about, it's one thing to throw a guy on a level playing field head first. Because, you just pick them up, you just swing them, right? This is throwing a guy on a downward plane 2 or 3 rows down. And, they flung him. And it was the most insane thing ever. Like, they just had cops. But anyway, I mean, I think the Raiders are just trying to become your next book.
It's a great idea.
What's the team that's more violent, worse, and drug-addled and problematic.
I mean, A Big Mess in Vegas, it's kind of the perfect sequel to A Big Mess in
title.
Texas.
A Big Mess in Vegas.
Yeah, a big sloppy mess in Vegas. So, Chris, was the guy who flew over you, was that a 49ers fan? Like, could you tell or what?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It probably was, because most of the Raiders fans, like I remember there was this giant tall dude and I had nachos and a drink, and I was just walking around there just I'm like, what do you do in a prison yard? You don't stare, right? You look, or you don't look at people in the eye. Is that how it works?
Yep. No eye contact.
And he was this big, tall man, and he came up to me. He goes, them nachos good? And I was like, yes, sir. You want my nachos? I was kind of like in that mindset, and he just kept walking. He probably got a good laugh off it. But I was just, and I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", and he was towering over me, and he looked like he could just break me in half and shove me into one of those trash cans and take my nachos. And I was just like, yes, sir, if you want nachos. At one point, I wasn't sure if I should put my Raider shirt on or declare that I was on either side.
Stayed neutral. I'll tell you a great story about Oakland. I was covering that team, and here's what's funny is, you would have to finish your story or your report, and everybody knew the longer you waited, the more dangerous it got to walk back to your car. So you've never seen people write so fast in your entire life. But I had gone down to the Raiders. I think they had actually won the game. I went down to the Raiders locker room, and I got a second alone with Gruden, and I thought he would be celebrating. And I was like, John, you look like you're upset. And he was like, I got to get the hell out of here. He was like, I can't stand this team anymore. I got to get the hell out of here. And at first I thought he meant like me, I got to get the hell out of the stadium. And I was like, what do you got something going on? He's like, no, I need to get out of this whole franchise. So
he got out, and he
did.
Paid.
Yep.
What a deal. I remember when they hired him, and they just done a few years before that stupid thing where they got the number one pick guy and paid him all that money, that stupid money.
Oh my God. Jamarcus Russell, is that
Russell, yeah. Oh. And all he would do is walk up and down and tell his teammates how he had Rolls Royces and show them his rings and shit, and just phone it in. And I mean, what a shit show. And then I'm like, okay, don't do that big money thing anymore. And they just give Gruden, like, what was it, 10 years? Like, who gives a coach in the NFL a 10-year contract, for Christ's sake?
Yeah. And the keys to the franchise, yep. And
he's still getting paid. He's got like a podcast and shit that he just does. And we're paying just 3 or 4 coaches right now that we fired at the same time.
Well, and then, I mean, and now you've got even Tom Brady can't figure out the Raiders. So, yeah,
he's just like, I don't know what to do here, man. This is kind of embarrassing. Like, I can't save these fuckers. I don't know. It's the owners. Anyway, so what do you hope people gain from this book as they read it? What do you maybe a movie we can get out of this, or a miniseries maybe?
Oh, for sure. I think this is definitely going to be, somebody's going to pick it up as a movie, because it's one of those books. It makes a great Christmas gift, I'll have to say, but it's one of those books where if you have a friend or a dad or an uncle who thinks they know everything about the NFL, just hand them this book and go, you don't know anything about the way it used to be in the good old days.
Wait, they had bombings by the Ku Klux Klan?
Oh yeah. So the Texans' 2 best players were black.
Yeah.
And remember, I mean, the Texas Longhorns didn't integrate their roster until 1967. So the Texans were 15 years ahead of the time, and those players weren't allowed to live with the rest of their teammates. They had to live in a part of South Dallas that there were a string of 12 house bombings by the KKK that, of course, went unsolved. And that's what those players had to endure in Dallas.
As if, not getting leveled in the football field when there's pretty much no rules back then. You can't sack the shit out of a quarterback. I mean, you've covered it for 30 years with the NFL. I mean, we've seen some ugly ass quarterback hits that you're just like, that guy's head's still attached.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, yeah. And then I think for me is you watch the current thing and you see guys get hit and you know that if they get brain damage or if they're incapacitated, the NFL's not taking care of those guys. They're throwing them to the curb. It's sort of, it makes it hard to watch at times.
There's been a couple instances lately. I think in the last year that they're pulling that soccer thing that the guys do in soccer, where you look at them wrong or you bump them and they do the flop over, like I got hit, and they just they barely scrape by somebody and they try and drag a penalty. Have you seen that? So I thought somebody did that recently. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems a little hypocritical that it's like these guys are getting brain damage, but somebody taunting is too offensive.
I think, didn't somebody fall down around the Chiefs or something, and they just brushed them or something or bumped them, and they fell over and flopped and did the whole.
Doesn't that happen every game with Mahomes?
It probably does. I don't know. I don't watch any Chiefs games except for I can't barely stand watching any of them. And then I think they get special allowance because of who's the gal that one guy's dating? Kelsey's dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they call that the Taylor Swift penalty. I don't know what that means, but
the NFL absolutely protects their superstars. It's a business. It's a business. You can't have these guys getting hurt. But too bad. Mahomes tore his ACL and I don't know. They're in my conference. I have to hate the I thought about switching teams to the Chiefs because they win more than my guys. I knew when Chris and I were talking, and he was like, "God, I hate the Chiefs." I'm like, "Oh, you really are a Raiders fan."
We really are a Raiders fan. I swear to God, I saw hope in the mirror. I think we'd hired that one guy, that number one draft, but I remember having hope that we were going to finally come back, and then they moved Manning to. They moved Manning to the Broncos into conference. And I was like, dude, it was so hard to stay with the Raiders after that. I was just like,
I know, but you don't want to do what I did, which was I finally had enough with the Lions. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I can't take it anymore. I can't do it. And I mean, I think it had been 50 years or maybe closer to 75 years. And then of course, the year after I do that, they're one play away from the Super Bowl. And I kind of love Dan Campbell too, their coaches. He's awesome. Yeah. So.
I mean, everyone grows up cheering for the Lions because they were one of the few teams that would play on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a good game. So as we go out, give people final pitch out to pick up the book wherever people can find it and .coms and all that good stuff, David.
Yeah, it's really wherever books are sold. It's in every bookstore. You can find it at Amazon. The hardcover's out now, but the audiobook and the ebook are available. Yeah, pick it up for the history buff or the NFL fan or just somebody who loves a great, crazy, colorful yarn. They will love this book. Appreciate it.
Maybe we should bring him back. Well, there already is the Dallas Texans, so we'd have to call him 2.0 or something like that, but
I will tell you the Cowboys stole this team's their uniforms and their color palette. So
really?
At some point the Cowboys should do a throwback jersey of the Dallas Texans. That would be awesome.
And then everyone can just get drunk. I love the strip poker with groupies and even a future Hall of Fame coach stealing a cab. The team, one of the reasons why the team got so many good players is that the players all lived in an apartment building that was across the street from the American Airlines flight attendant training school. So players were eager to come play for the Texans so that they could be close to all the flight attendants. Wow. That sounds like the 50s.
Yep.
What a time. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, David. We really appreciate it.
Oh, Chris, thanks again. And I'll be back the next time I have a book out.
I'm looking for your next book. The second worst team in the NFL, Raiders.
The Big Mess in Vegas.
I don't know. The Big Mess. I mean, maybe you should do a book where you argue that, I don't know, the 4 or 5 teams that haven't ever made it to the Super Bowl. You try and figure out who is the worst team of all. That might be, you could just profile like 5 or 6 teams or 8 teams or something and drill it down and then present your evidence. Boy, you'd have some people arguing and fighting over that book.
I'm afraid that episode would make you cry, Chris.
Probably
it might be the Raiders.
Might be the Raiders. At least we got some Super Bowls there in the 70s, 80s or 90s, or we tried in the 90s, and thanks. It's really weird to be having Brady helping us. I mean, every time I see his face, I want to start punching it. I would never do that, folks, but just in my head. And then I'm like, oh wait, he's with us. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. We need him.
It's a hard thing to figure out, to reconcile Tom Brady helping the Raiders. I don't think so.
He took away our last Super Bowl with that.
I know.
Bullshit.
I know.
Bullshit. I'm forever. That's why I'm forever angry with him. But then I have to love him. It's a weird. It's like a marriage at this point. Anyway, it's a love-hate relationship.
It's dysfunctional. You need help. Get help, Chris.
It's very dysfunctional. But I don't know. Maybe we can get Giselle to come coach us. It might be in a. I'm not blaming Brady for it, but it just sounded funny in my head.
I mean, anyway, at this point, could it get worse? No.
Yeah, good point. I mean, we might as well just have Giselle's the guy she cheated with, the yoga instructor, come coach the team at this point. Given the ownership, I just think we need to get a guy who owns that team who can cut his hair properly. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Man.
Those I can't even. If you can't fix your own hair, how can you run $1 billion football franchise?
Have you seen his girlfriend?
I'm sure that's true love. I'm sure it's true love.
Of course it is. Yeah, it always makes me just believe in the faith. As long as you have money, you'll have love.
I saw a quote where he said, "Oh, she didn't know I owned the Raiders when we." And I was like, "Sure."
Yeah, sure. Anyway, that's why we lose, folks. Anyway, guys, it's we at least have a beautiful stadium, and I love Las Vegas. So,
yeah, that's true.
We got that going for us. So just hookers and blow.
Yep.
Anyway, so thank you very much for coming on the show, folks. Order up the book wherever fine books are sold. A Big Mess in Texas: The Miraculous, Disastrous, 1952 Dallas Texans, and the craziest untold story in NFL history. On October 14th, 2025. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1, the TikTokity, and all those crazy places. Internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.
All right, there we go, Dave.